I've got bananas sitting on my counter right now. Been there 30 days, not a single black spot, and all I spent was $1. Now you will not believe me until I show you why this works, and once you see it, you will wonder why nobody ever told you. I'm Dale Porter, and I grew up on a farm where we could not afford to watch food rot. So let me show you what we did. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe. I put one out every week and I show you the stuff that actually works. And tell me in the comments, how long do your bananas usually last before they turn black and soft? I want to know. Because most people tell me about a week, maybe 2 if they are lucky. That is exactly what the grocery stores count on. Here's the thing about bananas. The reason they go from bright yellow to brown to black faster than almost any other fruit you bring home is not mysterious. It is chemistry. Bananas produce a gas called ethylene, and they produce a lot of it. Ethylene is a plant hormone that tells the fruit to ripen, and bananas are one of the heaviest ethylene producers in the entire produce aisle. Put a bunch of bananas next to a bowl of apples, and your apples will be overripe in 3 days. That is not a coincidence. That is the ethylene talking. The crown of the banana bunch is where the gas comes from most concentrated. Each little banana in the bunch is connected to the main stem, and that stem is the main vent for ethylene release. Every time you buy a bunch of bananas and set it on your counter, that crown is pumping out gas 24 hours a day. The more ethylene that builds up around the fruit, the faster it ripens. The faster it ripens, the faster it browns. The faster it browns, the faster you throw it away and go back to the store. That is the loop. And the grocery stores know exactly how it works. What they do not want you to know is that you can stop the gas at the source for about $1. The trick is this. Wrap the crown of your banana bunch in plastic wrap or aluminum foil. That is it. That is the whole trick. Take a sheet of plastic wrap it tight around the crown where all the stems come together, and seal it as best you can. You want to trap the ethylene gas inside the wrap instead of letting it escape into your kitchen. The crown is where the gas is concentrated, so if you block it there, the rest of the bunch stays fresh much longer. Now let me walk you through the exact steps so you can do this the right way the first time. First, buy your bananas. Look for a bunch that is mostly green. The less yellow they are when you start, the longer your 30 days will extend. A good target is a bunch with at least 70% green peel. That gives you the most runway. Set them on your counter, do not put them in the fridge yet. Take a sheet of plastic wrap, about 12 inches long, wrap it around the crown, the big thick part where all the little stems connect to the main stalk. Wrap it tight, you want no gaps where air can escape. Then take another small piece and wrap any exposed stem ends. Even the small cut ends on individual bananas release gas. Seal it all up. Then take a piece of aluminum foil and wrap the crown the same way. Some people prefer foil because it is more durable and you can reuse it a few times before it needs replacing. Either works. The plastic wrap is cheaper and you probably already have it in your kitchen drawer. Now once the crown is wrapped, you need to hang the bananas or set them upside down. Hanging is better. Get a banana hanger. They cost about $5 and last for years, or just use a hook over your cabinet. The reason is bruising. Bananas bruise easy, and bruised spots produce even more ethylene than normal skin. If the bananas are sitting on their curved bottoms on a counter, the pressure points against the peel start breaking down cells, which creates more gas. Hang them and the weight distributes down the curve naturally with no pressure points. Your grandmother knew this. That is why old banana stands had that curved hook design. It was not aesthetic, it was functional. You should also separate them. Take a sharp knife and cut the bunch apart into individual bananas or pears. This slows the ethylene transfer between fruits. A bunch of bananas all touching each other share gas between them through direct contact and shared air. Separate them and each one ripens on its own timeline. You can put the ones you want to eat soon on the counter and keep the others wrapped and hanging. I do this every single time I buy bananas now. It takes 30 seconds and it means I always have ripe bananas ready instead of a whole bunch going bad at once. Now, about the refrigerator question. People always ask me if bananas go in the fridge. Here's the real answer. Yes and no. The skin will darken in the fridge even at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The fruit inside does not care. The cold slows the ripening process inside the flesh. The banana will stay firm and sweet even if the skin turns brown and ugly. So if you have bananas you are not going to eat this week, peel them, cut them into chunks, and freeze them in a zip bag for smoothies. That is what I do with the ones that get past my eating window. Or put the whole unpeeled banana in the fridge. The skin looks terrible, but the fruit inside is fine. Do not let the looks fool you. Your grandmother kept a lot of ugly food, and it was not because she lacked standards. It was because she knew what mattered. She knew that a brown-skinned banana was still good banana. What the grocery stores do is something they will never advertise on the price tag. They use a system called controlled atmosphere storage. That is not a refrigerator. That is a specially engineered room where they reduce the oxygen level to around 2 to 5% and raise the carbon dioxide level to match. The low oxygen slows the bananas way down. The high CO2 suppresses the ethylene response. They can keep bananas in this state for weeks, sometimes a month or more. The moment they take them out and expose them to normal air, the clock starts again. They look perfect because they never fully ripened in the first place. They went from green to controlled storage to the store shelf without ever completing the natural ripening cycle. You are buying something that was essentially paused mid-process. It was not ripe when they picked it, and it was not allowed to ripen properly. That is why sometimes you buy a banana at the store that looks great on the outside and the inside is still hard and bland. It was tricked into staying green. That is what they spend money on. Industrial scale gas management. Temperature controlled rooms, oxygen regulation, carbon dioxide injection, humidity control. The whole system costs millions to build and operate. And here's the part that should bother you. There are banana storage bags you can buy at the grocery store or online. They sell them for $8 to $12 a box. Do you want to know what those bags are made of? They are plastic bags with small laser-cut holes that limit gas exchange. They slow down the ethylene exposure. That is it. That is the whole technology. They are charging you $10 for a principle you can replicate with plastic wrap and $1 in materials. The expensive bags work, yes. They do what they claim, but so does the dollar trick. And the dollar trick is not even complicated. Wrap the crown, hang the bunch, separate the fruits. That is the whole thing. You do not need a subscription to a specialty produce bag service. You need plastic wrap and 30 seconds. Now let me go through the method one more time, step by step, so you have it clear and you can do it yourself tonight if you want. Step 1. Buy green bananas. The greener the better. You want them to start from an early stage so you control the timeline from the beginning. A bunch that is 60 to 70% green is ideal. If you buy one that is already more yellow than green, you have already lost days of your fresh window. The clock started before you got them home. Always buy the greenest bunch you can find. Yes, it means waiting a day or two to eat them. That is the point. You are managing ripening, not reacting to it. Step 2. Wrap the crown. Take plastic wrap, a standard 12-inch sheet from your kitchen drawer, and seal the thick stem part where all the small bananas connect to the main stalk. Wrap it tight. You want a complete seal on the main gas vent. Do not rush this. Make sure you cover every exposed cut end and stem junction. Even small exposed areas will let gas out. Then take a second small piece of wrap and cover any individual stem ends that look open. The goal is a complete containment. If you are using aluminum foil, do the same thing. Wrap the crown tight, fold the edges under so they hold the foil in place. Foil has the advantage of being reusable. You can unwrap it, check your bananas, and rewrap it. I reuse my foil for about a week before it needs replacing. Step 3. Separate if needed. If you bought a large bunch, cut it into pairs or singles. Put the ones you plan to eat within 3 to 5 days on a banana hook or hanging from a clip on your cabinet. Keep the rest wrapped and hanging. This is the key step that most people skip. A bunch of 6 bananas altogether means if one starts to go, it pulls the whole bunch down. Separate them and you stagger the ripening. You eat a couple today, a couple tomorrow, and the rest are still going strong next week. This alone will cut your waste by half. Step 4. Store in a cool, dry place. Not in direct sunlight. Sun heat accelerates ripening. A kitchen counter away from the window is fine. If your kitchen runs warm, even better. The cooler the environment, the slower the ripening. I keep mine on the counter next to the window that gets afternoon shade. My kitchen stays around 70 degrees in the summer, and that is fine. If your kitchen gets hot, put them in a cooler spot or even in a cabinet. Just make sure they are not in direct sun. Step 5. Monitor and eat. Check every couple of days. When a banana is at your preferred ripeness, take it down and eat it. The others stay fresh. A wrapped, hung banana will stay fresh for 3 to 4 weeks easily. I have pushed it to 30 days on multiple occasions. The peel may get a little mottled, maybe a few brown speckles, but the fruit inside stays firm and sweet. I have tested this on my own counter more times than I can count. Last summer I had a bunch wrapped and hanging for 28 days before I finally ate the last one. My wife thought I had lost my mind, but the banana was still good. It was not pretty, but it was good. And I had spent $1 to make it last a month instead of buying 3 bunches in that same time period. Now, this ethylene principle extends beyond bananas. I want you to understand this because once you see how it works, you will start seeing it everywhere. Avocados respond the same way. An avocado produces ethylene and the crown is where it releases the most gas. Wrap the stem end of an avocado in plastic wrap and it will stay hard much longer. I keep a bag of avocados in the fridge with wrapped stems and they last 2 weeks instead of 3 days. If I want one to ripen faster, I put it in a paper bag on the counter. The trapped ethylene speeds it up. That is a different trick for a different video, but once you know the principle, you can control any fruit that uses ethylene to ripen. Take an avocado you want to slow down, wrap the crown, and put it in the fridge. Take one you want to speed up, put it in a bag. You are now running the ripening process instead of being run by it. Apples are the same. One bad apple spoils the bunch is not just a saying, it is ethylene science. One apple in a bowl of apples releases enough gas to accelerate every apple around it. I learned this the hard way when I was 20 years old working at a restaurant in Columbus. We had a walk-in cooler full of apples, and one bad spot in a Jonagold apple, half the cooler turned soft within 2 days. Separate them, wrap the stems in plastic wrap, keep them cooler, and they last for months. I keep apples in my root cellar at around 38 degrees, and they stay fresh from harvest in September until February. That is 5 months. The trick is the cold and the separation. Do not let them touch each other and keep them cold. Pears too. Most tree fruits respond to this same principle. Apricots, peaches, plums, nectarines, they all produce ethylene and they all benefit from the same crown wrapping trick. I have done this with pears from my neighbor's tree every autumn for the last 6 years. I wrap the stems, put them in a cool spot, and I eat fresh pears for 8 weeks instead of watching them all ripen at once and going bad. You can also put them in the fridge. A cold pear stops the clock almost entirely. The reason I care about this is not just about convenience. It is about waste and it is about money. Americans throw away roughly 40% of the food they buy. I have seen it in restaurant kitchens, I have seen it in my own home, and I have seen it at the grocery store when workers pull the overripe produce and throw it in the dumpster. Bananas are one of the most wasted items in the typical household. People buy them, they sit on the counter for 4 days, they turn brown, and into the trash they go. Then they buy another bunch, and another. That is money flowing out the door, and it does not have to happen. $1 in plastic wrap and 30 seconds of your time, and your bananas last a month instead of a week. That is not a hack. That is just knowing what your grandmother knew before the grocery stores started packaging everything to make it easy to throw away and buy more. The industrial food system is not interested in you preserving your own food. They are interested in you buying more food more often. That is the model. Keep you buying, keep you throwing away, keep you coming back. The controlled atmosphere storage rooms, the expensive banana bags, the prepackaged convenience everything, it is all designed around the same idea. Keep you in the cycle. Make it easy to waste so you buy again. Make it feel normal to throw food away. That is their business model, and it has nothing to do with feeding you well. It has everything to do with feeding their revenue. I am not interested in that cycle. I grew up on a farm where nothing was wasted because we could not afford to waste anything. If a tomato went bad, it went in the compost for the next season's garden. If a banana went bad, it went to the chickens. Waste was not an option. It was a failure. And the techniques my family used were not complicated. They were simple, they were effective, and they cost nothing. The crown wrapping, the hanging, the separation, the cool storage. These are not new ideas. They are old ideas that the industrial food system buried because they do not serve the consumption cycle they want you in. I learned these from necessity and from my grandmother and from neighbors who had been doing this for generations. And now I am sharing them with you because you should not have to pay $10 for a specialty bag when a dollar roll of plastic wrap does the same thing. So next time you buy bananas, wrap the crown. Hang them or put them upside down. Separate them. Check on them every few days. Come back and tell me in the comments how long they last. I read them all and I respond when I can. I want to know if this is working for you and if you have other tricks I have not mentioned. If you found this useful, hit subscribe and send it to anyone who keeps buying bananas and watching them rot. They will thank you for it. Or they will argue with you in the comments, which is also entertaining. Either way, they will be thinking about why their bananas keep going bad, and that is the first step. I'll see you in the next one.